We see the instant no shield deployed. The Dragon Claw lands for a heavy neutral damage. Phil then farms up, throws the Night Slash on the CMP side. Night Slash will be secure on the knockout. It's going to be a race. Can the opponent Fairy and farm us down before we reach the Scald? They cannot, and that is going to be all she wrote. Welcome back to the channel. We're in the final week of Season 17. We've got all 3 leagues available, which means I can finally shoutcast these battles I've been hanging on to in the Open Ultra League. Huge shout out to Phil the Balls for submitting some Shadow Crawdaunt action. When this thing first got released, I was super hyped. I love a Shadow Glass Cannon. The first thing I thought of when I saw this was Greninja. Both Crawdaunt and Greninja have almost an identical stat product. Crawdaunt is actually even more attack weighted with less defense, which means it's going to hit even harder. That isn't even taken into account. It's 20% bonus for being a Shadow. The similarities with Greninja don't end there. Both Pokemon share exactly the same dark water typing, and they also share a very similar moveset. Both have access to a very good 3-turn quick move with Snarl and Water Shrieking respectively. Both have access to the super spammy Night Slash. Greninja prefers Legacy Hydro Cannon, however Crawdaunt you've got 2 choices. It's got access to 2 50 energy water moves that both do 85 damage. It's got a signature move of Crab Hammer that has the potential to buff your own attack by 2 stages, and it's got access to the most busted move this season, Scald, that of course can lower your opponent's attack by 1 stage. Phil today has opted for Scald as we've already got the boost potential with Night Slash. Without any further ado, let's see Crawdaunt in action. And in game 1, we lead Trevenant into Ampharos. Not a bad lead, however these brutal swings come super fast and hit incredibly hard. Ampharos also with a huge attack stat. Phil tanks the brutal swing, returns fire with the Shadow Ball, forcing a Protect Shield. Phil then looks to farm up, catch brutal swing number 2 onto our safe switch of Drapion. Drapion, my channel mascot, tanks that brutal swing like an absolute boss. The opponent then safe switch into Virizion, and if this opponent thinks we're on Aqua Tail, my god are they about to find out. We most certainly are not. Phil farms up, fires off the Sludge Bomb goes unshielded, and look at that damage. We near one-shot Virizion. Phil going to be very happy to see Virizion on the battlefield, as Crawdaunt most certainly does not want that work. We elect to let Drapion go down, saving 2 Protect Shields for our squishy Crawdaunt in the back. We send out Trevenant. We look for the Shadow Claw farm down. Unfortunately, the opponent makes the last second Leaf Blade, and we see Phil invest that Protect Shield. Back out comes Ampharos. We fire off 1 Shadow Claw and the Seed Bomb. The opponent call the Seed Bomb bait, but undeterred, Phil able to reach Seed Bomb number 2. The opponent probably let this go as Ampharos is running out of HP. We pivot into Crawdaunt. The opponent's got Cresselia in the back, and they say no thank you and concede the match. In the next battle, we see yet another Ampharos. I'm not surprised, to be honest. Ampharos, a very good anti-meta pick in this season's meta. We've already seen Brutal Swing does quite a lot of damage last time. Phil full sent the Shadow Ball, and he's going for the same trick. Does the opponent respect the damage this time? Shadow Ball goes unshielded, and once again we make a very nice Brutal Swing catch onto our safe switch of Drapion. Once again our Drapion safe switch is met with a fighter. Phil running the ABB double dart backline. The idea of the Drapion safe switch is to look to draw out any hard answer for our Crawdaunt, giving it the best chance to sweep, and he's done exactly that in this battle. Poliwrath fires off the Icy Wind. Drapion withstands the damage. It doesn't look like we make 1 further crunch, so Phil settles for the crunch, which still does some reasonable chip damage. We've got Poliwrath into the red. Of course, we can't send out Crawdaunt as these counters would absolutely annihilate us, so Phil sends back out Trevenant. This Poliwrath still in a bit of an awkward health range. Can we shield once, get the full Shadow Claw farm down? It doesn't look like it, so Phil opts to throw the Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb goes unshielded, and Phil is spamming the switch. We send out Crawdaunt. The opponent's final Pokemon is Trevenant. Phil goes straight for the Night Slash, which of course will be forcing the opponent's first Protect Shield. You can see these resisted Shadow Claws are even starting to chunk. Phil shields up the Seed Bomb. The opponent still has the potential to make a catch. Phil anticipates the catch, gets the full Snarl down, back out comes Trevenant. Phil fires off the next Night Slash. Night Slash forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. We're able to reach Night Slash number 3, and Crawdaunt sweeps. GG's and thanks for playing. Let's go Crawdaunt. Phil anticipated the switch and managed to pull off the dub. Very, very disciplined gameplay. In the next battle, this time we see Poliwrath in the lead. The opponent safe switch into Gliscor, and we answer with Crawdaunt. Phil farms up to the Scald, baits with the Night Slash. Night Slash forces a Protect Shield. Phil evidently the best master baiter in the world. Speaking of baiting, the opponent bait us with the Night Slash and Phil calls it like a savage. We then return fire with the Scald. Scald secures the knockout. Phil, you sir have some huge cojones. What an impressive mid-game display there from both Phil and Crawdaunt. Not only did we keep switch, we even obtained shield advantage. We now send back out Trevenant into Poliwrath. These icy winds do start to chunk. We can tank one, but the second one is going to need to be respected. The opponent does outpace the icy wind number 2, and we're going to see Phil invest his first protect shield. As we've got a 2-stage lowered attack, I'm unsure if the seed bomb will knock out. The opponent actually make the seed bomb catch onto Jellicent, and my god, do we have a very good surprise for Jellicent in the form of our Drapion. Phil banks the seed bomb, pivots out into Drapion. With that chip damage, one crunch is going to secure the knockout. We tank the serve. Drapion then throws one poison sting and the crunch for optimal fast move timing. 2 turn into 3 turn. Of course, you want to throw at 1, 4 or 7. It looks like Phil experiences some frame drops. We should beat Jellicent in CMP. You can see it wasn't a true CMP tie as the opponent is able to sneak the Hex. But regardless of that, this game is just over. Poliwrath can look to counter farm us all the way down, but Trevenant wins CMP. The opponent does look for the counter farm down. Drapion fires off the crunch. We bring back out Trevenant, throw the seed bomb, and Phil takes that game. Moving on to the next battle. We lead Trevenant into Tapu Fini. A very, very nice lead. The opponent say switches into Venusaur, and we answer with Crawdaunt. I think that might be a miss switch. But regardless, let's see how this one goes. We managed to force ourselves shield advantage, which is at least something. The opponent fire off the Frenzy Plant. Them Vine Whips were tearing us apart. You can see just how glassy we are. Holy crap. Phil now sends back out Trevenant. We could have went Drapion, as we would resist all charge moves, but I guess Phil doesn't want to reveal his third. We tank the Sludge Bomb. Phil then farms up, throws the Shadow Ball on the CMP tie. Very nice energy management from Phil. Shadow Ball secures the knockout. I can't imagine Tapu Fini does return Phil. Looking to pivot, the opponent sends out Skeledirge, then pivot back out into Tapu Fini. And if you're wondering why I recommend Sludge Bomb, it's for moments like this. Sludge Bomb goes unshielded. Drapion is now going to be able to shield once, commit to the full Poison Sting farm down, and Drapion is now looking primed to sweep. The opponent does get Poison Stung farmed all the way down. Back out comes Skeledirge. Phil throws 2 Poison Stings and the crunch, once again on optimal fast move timing, so 2 turn into 5 turn. Ideally you want to throw 2 quick moves or 7, and Phil is playing absolutely beautifully. Phil then fires off the next crunch as soon as he gets it. Not at the best timing, but it's irrelevant as that crunch will be able to take that game. Despite this being a Crawdaunt showcase, Drapion always puts in work. In the next battle, we see the Battle of Ghosts. More favourable for Trevenant because Shadow Claw is better than Hex. Phil farms up, attempts to make a Shadow Ball catch. The opponent there showed great discipline, anticipating the catch. You can see they paused the turn, ensuring we didn't catch on something that does resist Ghost. The opponent chip us with the Surf and then send out Shadow Skunk Tank. We fire off the first crunch, forcing the Protect Shield. Phil then farms the Sludge Bomb, throws the crunch, unfortunately losing CMP, but Drapion able to hang on a sliver of HP. The second crunch doesn't quite knock out. The opponent is going to be able to get the full Poison Jab farm down. I don't think we're going to be able to Shadow Claw farm this down or snarl it down. Let's see how Phil plays this one out. We send back out Trevenant once again. Phil's counting absolutely on point. We throw the Seed Bomb on the CMP tie, securing the knockout, and we're looking to pivot. We send out Crawdaunt, and the opponent's final Pokemon is Greedent. Greedent incredibly thick. We go straight Night Slash, show me the boost. The RNG gods not smiling upon Phil. Unfortunately, we don't see a boost. Phil shields up the Body Slam. I'll be interested to see just how much damage a Body Slam does to Crawdaunt. Ultra League Monarch, pretty thick. Body Slam, not the hardest hitting move in the Ultra League. However, moment of truth time, and ouch, that hurt. We now find ourselves in the 1-to-1 shield, so this time Phil goes to the kill shot, full sending the skull. Does the opponent respect the damage? Oof, they do shield. We get the attack drop. We pivot back out into Trevenant, drawing out Jellicent. Where does Phil spend his final shield? Last second, we correctly shield up the Shadow Ball. Can Trevenant manage to close out this battle? We farm up, throw the Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb isn't quite lethal. We do Shadow Claw farm down. We leave with the Seed Bomb, however, opt not to throw it. Can we survive a crunch? Crunch knocks us out, and unfortunately, we're going to get Mud Shot farm down and take a loss. GG's to that opponent. In the next battle, we see a massive core breaker. Obstagoon, due to its dark, normal typing, triple resist our quick move of Shadow Claw, and you can see these seed bombs do absolutely nothing. Phil definitely can't switch out, as if you think this matchup's bad, the Crawdaunt matchup's going to be 10 times worse. The opponent actually go for the obstruct, boosting their defense, which means this next seed bomb is going to do even less. With a lowered defense, a Night Slash might knock out from this range. The opponent fires off the Night Slash, Trevenant able to survive. The opponent then don't want to tank another charge move, so opt to throw what I imagine to be yet another obstruct. The opponent actually throw the Night Slash. We now send out Drapion, as the opponent has got a boosted defense. Sludge Bomb might not be lethal. Is Sludge Bomb enough to knock out? No, heartbreaking. The opponent survives on 1 HP and a dream, and now give us the very annoying debuff effect. So Phil probably going to be forced to switch out. We do switch out into Crawdaunt, drawing out Skeledirge. The opponent's final Pokemon is Gliscopod. Come on, Crawdaunt, it's your time, baby. Let's go, Crawdaunt. We get the boost on the first Night Slash. Phil goes straight for Night Slash. Number 2, let's go, Crawdaunt. Night Slash forces the first Protect Shield off the opponent. Phil, of course, going to be shielding everything at this stage. The opponent fire off the Aerial Ace, but Phil doesn't give a shit. We then throw one Snarl and the next Night Slash. Night Slash forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. Are we going to see Phil go all in on Crawdaunt? Yes, we are. We shield up the next Aerial Ace. We then farm up, throw the Night Slash. Night Slash will be securing the knockout. Unfortunately, I think Skeledirge is going to outpace us. However, Drapion will have no problem cleaning up this battle. The opponent forced to throw the Disarming Voice. Disarming Voice does secure the knockout. We don't see a Crawdaunt sweep. However, Drapion reaches the crunch. This crunch won't quite be lethal. However, we also aren't going to get knocked out by a Disarming Voice. It's then going to be Poison Sting versus Incinerate. Who will prevail? Drapion gets the Poison Sting farm down, and we take that game. What is on my screen? Back-to-back Obstagoon leads. Are you serious? Obstagoon, apparently like London buses. You wait fucking ages for one, and then two come along at the same time. Why are people running Obstagoon this season? I have no idea, as fighters such as Annihilate and Poliwrath are absolutely everywhere. I suppose it's very high risk, very high reward. Obstagoon, dreadful against the fighters, but pretty good at the things that counter fighters. So it's kind of one of them weird circles. The opponent knock us out. We then send out Drapion, of course, as Crawdaunt wants no part of this Obstagoon. This opponent's also running Cross Chop, which means Drapion isn't effectively able to sponge up this energy. We fire off the Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb doesn't secure the knockout. The opponent even make one further Cross Chop, and this Obstagoon is running through our team. Cross Chop gets us incredibly low. Phil does commit to the full Poison Sting farm down. The opponent then send out Gliscopod. Phil continues to farm up, fires off the Crunch. Crunch goes unshielded. This time we fire off the Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb does do more damage. Does the opponent respect the damage? They do not. They survive on 1 HP and a dream. We then see the Simul swap Crawdaunt into Skeledirge, and Crawdaunt again smelling blood. We're just going to be able to outpace this crocodile. We shield up the Disarming Voice. Phil throws one Snarl and the first Night Slash. The opponent, much like us, forced to shield everything. They do shield the first one. Phil gonna fire off the second one. The opponent lightly invests that Protect Shield. They're looking to double up on charge moves. They don't get there. Crawdaunt reaches the third Night Slash. High Skeledirge, by Skeledirge. We get the boost. The opponent did exit with a charge move. However, Phil can safely shield this up, and the Snarl will secure the knockout. GG's. Heading into the next battle, we lead Trevenant into Clefable. Another thing that Crawdaunt doesn't want to see. It's a very spicy pit. You can see it's got plenty of things it needs to avoid. The opponent goes straight for the Meteor Mash. Meteor Mash is the correct move to throw in this matchup if you are Clefables. You need 2 moves, and Meteor Mash is cheaper than Moonblast. Phil full sends the Shadow Ball, forcing a Protect Shield. I imagine Phil is going to shield this next move and look to try and get this thing out of it with a Shadow Ball. However, I have used Clefable and it's incredibly thick. I don't even know if a Shadow Ball is lethal. Let's find out. Shadow Ball actually forces the final Protect Shield, so Phil saves his Trevenant and catches the next Meteor Mash onto his safe switch of Drapion. The opponent answers our Drapion safe switch with Swampert. Unfortunately, the opponent got a 0-turn switch. They're able to win CMP, firing off the Hydro Cannon. Drapion unfortunately straight in and straight out. It's sad to see. Drapion normally puts in work, but in this battle it did absolutely nothing. Phil sends back out Trevenant, goes straight for the Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb actually isn't lethal. Holy smokes, this time Phil putting it all on Crawdaunt. Crawdaunt is going to get a 1 snarl head start. We know Clefable is alive. What is that third? The opponent's third is revealed to be Giratina. Phil farms up, goes straight for the Night Slash. Show me the boost. Night Slash lands for heavy damage, however we don't get the boost. We see Phil choosing to save his final Protect Shield. We tank the Dragon Claw, ouch, that does massive damage. Phil then over farms, fires off the Night Slash on the CMP tie. It's going to be a race. Can the opponent Fairy Wind farm us down before we reach the Scald? They cannot. We reach the Scald, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Crawdaunt not only gets the sweep, but we managed to save 1 Protect Shield for next season. In the next battle, we see Heliolisk in the lead. We're both hitting each other 4 resisted, however the Volt Switch is only single resisted, whereas our Shadow Claws are double resisted due to the sub-normal typing. The opponent fire off the Break and Swipe, getting the debuff in the process. That means they're easily able to tank 1 Seed Bomb. The opponent gonna fire off Break and Swipe number 2, Trevenant also survives and we get double debuff. Break and Swipe actually is only now a 50% chance of getting the debuff, although this opponent is 2 for 2. We see Phil pivot into Drapion, the opponent gonna fire off yet another Break and Swipe. Holy crap, 3 for 3, are you serious? This Heliolisk absolutely spamming these Break and Swipes out. They fire off yet another one, this time we don't get debuffed, and the opponent answers our Drapion save switch with Giratina. Very interesting. Giratina is by no means a good Drapion answer. We're able to reach the second crunch as the opponent debuffed us. You can see 2 crunches don't knock out. However, we did throw on the CMP tie, which is advantageous for us. We can send out Crawdaunt. Crawdaunt comes in, looks for the full snarl farm down. Phil is going to shield at the Dragon Claw. We saw in the previous battle it just does far too much damage. I imagine the opponent sends back out Heliolisk, looking to force our energy. The opponent does indeed send out Heliolisk. We throw 1 snarl and the Night Slash. Night Slash actually forces the opponent's final protection. We get the boost. The opponent then make a very nice catch, catching the Night Slash onto Tapu Fini. That boosted Night Slash actually did quite a lot of damage. Phil then banks the Night Slash, pivots back out into Trevenant. Phil can easily shield this move up. People think Heliolisk got a high attack, however, Heliolisk actually loses CMP, so all Phil's got to do is take out this Tapu Fini. The opponent can have 1 Bazillion energy, they're most certainly in Night Slash range. The opponent Volt Switch farms us down, we send back out Crawdaunt. Crawdaunt would have won CMP, I've got no idea why the opponent didn't throw, but regardless, we take the dub. GG's, and thanks for playing. So for those of you wondering, Heliolisk has a 179 attack, which of course is monstrous, but Crawdaunt even higher with a 187. In the next battle, we see Dragonite in the lead. Phil farms up, makes a very nice Dragon Claw catch onto his safe switch of Drapion. I've made this play so many times and the opponent always looks to return the favour, catching the crunch onto something like Cobalion. The opponent actually stays in, don't make the catch, and the crunch lands for huge damage. This season, Dragonite is less commonly paired with Cobalion. Stuff like Poliwrath and Annihilape have completely scared it out of the meta, which make the Drapion safe switch a monster once again. The opponent save their Dragonite at 1 HP and a Dream, send out Ampharos, we land the first crunch. The opponent looks for the full Volt Switch farm down, allowing Drapion to make crunch number 2, forcing a Protect Shield. We then send back out Trevenant. Phil makes a very heads up play, not playing to CMP, opting to take the extra Shadow Claw. This time, we do play to the CMP tie. Seed Bomb forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. This Brutal Swing is going to do a lot of damage. Does it put us in Volt Switch farm down range? I don't think so. Ampharos farms up. We look to throw the Seed Bomb, but the opponent make a savage catch, catching on the low health Dragonite. Phil goes for the undercharge, then sends out Crawdaunt. Crawdaunt gets the snarl farm down. Does the opponent have Thunder Punch? Hopefully not. Oh my days, that Thunder Punch does absurd damage. We do get the snarl farm down. The opponent's final Pokemon, I didn't see it, some kind of fire type. We fire off the Scald. Scald isn't lethal. We get the Shadow Claw farm down and manage to win a crazy endgame. GG's. In the next battle, we see Trevenant into Shadow Nidoqueen, a Pokemon I've not seen in a while. It used to be the king of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 debuff. However, now Poison Fang costs more energy, so it takes some 6. We farm up, full send the Shadow Ball. We then make a very nice catch, catching the Poison Fang onto Drapion. A very high risk, high reward play as the opponent could have held their energy and fired off the Earth Power. Drapion then able to reach the crunch on the CMP tie. Crunch goes unshielded. The opponent has enough for an Earth Power. Phil says fuck it, you can have it. The opponent once again bait. Trainer, why are you baiting so much? They then send out Wall Rain. Is this person stuck in like season 10 or something? What is this team? Drapion lands the crunch. The opponent then get a very nice powder snow farm down. Phil still has 2 protect shields, 2 high beyond. We send out Trevenant. I imagine we just look to force the energy. Actually, Phil has other ideas. We're going to shield up the first Icicle Sphere and then catch the second on Crawdaunt. Phil, this is ridiculous. You're making some mad plays and I'm getting lost here. Crawdaunt is supposed to resist ice, although it doesn't really look like it, to be honest, as that Icicle Sphere and these powder snows are really chunking. We fire off the Night Slash, securing the knockout. The opponent sends out Trevenant, and this time they're the one making the catch. Catch the Night Slash onto Nidoqueen. We've both got 1 protect shield, 2 high beyond. The opponent throw a very disciplined time in 1 turn before the next Night Slash. Phil putting it all on his own. Trevenant back out. Comes Trevenant. Of course the opponent's going to throw a Seed Bomb as we've got hardly any HP. Phil shields up the Seed Bomb. We're going for our own Seed Bomb bait. Do we get the bait off? The opponent called the bait and we still managed to Shadow Claw farm down and take a very, very crazy game. GG's to both trainers. In the next battle, we see the basic bitch tin can. PV Poke's #1 ranked pick, Registeel. Phil throws 8 Shadow Claws and the Shadow Ball on the CMP tie to the Zap Cannon. The opponent shields the first, of course fishing for the debuff. In the Ultra League, this isn't too bad a matchup for Registeel, especially if they start getting attack drops. The opponent, of course, gets the attack drop. Phil, undeterred, farms up, fires off Shadow Ball #2, and you can see Reggie tanks that really well. I imagine Phil shields this next move up, which he does. Hopefully no attack drop. The opponent get yet another attack drop. We then look to pivot into Drapion, resetting our debuff. Drapion can tank any one move. The opponent lightly throws a Zap Cannon, hoping for yet another attack drop. This time they don't get it, and they send out Poliwrath. This is once again where Sludge Bomb comes in clutch as Sludge Bomb lands for heavy neutral damage. You can see 2 Sludge Bombs will be lethal. The opponent gets greedy, looking for the counter farm down. Is the opponent willing to shield Poliwrath? No, they're not. Drapion, you absolute monster. Poliwrath makes a very brief cameo appearance, but it's very nice to get it out the way so Crawdaunt doesn't have to face it. Back out comes Reggie. Reggie gets the lock on farm down. We send back out Trevenant, go for the kill shot. Shadow Ball goes unshielded. The opponent's final Pokemon is Giratina, and we answer with Crawdaunt. Giratina hoping for a miracle as both Crawdaunt and Trevenant do alright into it. Phil tanks the first Dragon Claw. We then throw 1 Snarl and the Night Slash, and that is key. The fact that Phil is throwing an optimal fast move timing is going to allow us to win this battle without even needing Trevenant to return. You can see we're going to shield up the next Dragon Claw, throw 1 Snarl and the Night Slash. This Night Slash won't be lethal. The opponent is now 3 Shadow Claws away from the next charge move. We're 2 Snarls. Crawdaunt with the higher attack reaches the Night Slash, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's and thanks for playing. Always remember, when using a 3-turn move into a 2-turn move, always throw in odd numbers. If you throw in an even number, you give them 2 free turns instead of 1. In the next battle, we see a familiar lead. This time, Phil just makes the brutal swing catch straight onto Drapion without throwing any Shadow Ball or trying to force a Protect Shield. The opponent answer our Drapion say switch with the Kentucky Fried Chicken. Bird of Death, we fire off the first crunch. Unfortunately, we don't see a debuff. Drapion should survive a Flame Charge from this range, but Fly would knock out. We choose to invest a Protect Shield, shielding up the Flame Charge. We're then going to fire off the next crunch. Crunch forces the Protect Shield back. This time we do get the defense drop. The opponent doesn't commit to the full Incinerate farm down. And now we're going to have to deal with a double boosted Talonflame. This Kentucky Fried Chicken Bird of Death is in a bit of an awkward health range. Phil sends out Crawdaunt. He actually opts to throw the Night Slash instead of going for the aggressive Snarl farm down, and I agree with this play, as even the Incinerators are doing a lot of damage. Back out comes Ampharos. We pivot back out into Trevenant. Phil fires off the Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb goes unshielded, and this is going to start getting tricky. We are outside of brutal swing range, so Phil opts to tank the charge move, but you can see we're left in a sliver of HP. The opponent then look to snipe with their own Trevenant. Phil sees it coming in, full sends the Shadow Ball forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. Crawdaunt now needs to manage energy well, of course. We're going to have to shield up the incoming Seed Bomb. I believe Ampharos is 1 voltage away from the next charge move, so all Phil has to do is ensure Crawdaunt is only 1 Snarl away from the back-to-back, which he is. Night Slash secures the knockout on Trevenant. Back out comes Ampharos. We reach 1 final Night Slash, and Crawdaunt is an Ampharos counter confirmed. You heard it here first. Heading into the next battle, we lead Trevenant into Sylveon. Definitely something we need to keep. Our crab, is it a crab or is it a lobster? Whatever it is, we need to keep it away from any charm users. We fire off the Shadow Ball lands for heavy neutral damage. We then look to major Side Shot catch onto our Drapion, and Phil's counting absolutely on point. I imagine if you're on a Charmer, you're going to have poison type answers, and this opponent's poison type counter is Regirock. Although Drapion not too bad in this matchup, we're super spammy to the crunches, and one Stone Edge isn't going to be enough to knock out. The opponent fire off the Stone Edge, we withstand the damage. Drapion still fairly healthy, the opponent's going to have a tough time of lock-on farming us down. Phil fires off the next crunch, forcing a Protect Shield, we even get the defense drop. Despite the defense drop, the next crunch won't be lethal, so Phil makes the correct decision, just letting Drapion go down, not fighting for switch, instead taking shield advantage. We send back out Trevenant. Trevenant going to be able to farm up, throw the Seed Bomb on what looks like to be a CMP tie Seed Bomb, does secure the knockout, back out, comes Sylveon. Phil fires off the Seed Bomb, looking to get this pesky Charmer out of his Seed Bomb, goes unshielded. We see the pivot then into Crawdaunt. The opponent's final Pokemon is Kanto Mach. Phil actually goes straight for the Night Slash. I'm not sure if I'd go straight Scald in this matchup, as the opponent is unlikely to shield, and just look at this poison jab damage. Holy! It looks like the opponent committing to the fast move beatdown. Crawdaunt fires off the next Night Slash, forcing the final Protect Shield. We get the boost, and that is going to seal the opponent's fate. This boosted Night Slash secures the knockout, and Phil takes that game. Huge shout out to Phil for yet another super fun battle submission. It's always a pleasure shoutcasting your battles. If you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you like your battles featured on my channel, link to the battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for all the support I received, and I'll see you all in the next one.